So I took a break from social media over the holidays just so that I could start out the new year feeling a bit refreshed. And it turns out I'm creating the most self-indulgent YouTube video I could possibly put out, which is just a video of me talking about myself. So it's been a couple weeks into the new year, and I feel like the new year is kind of like a stressful time for me, and probably for everyone else. You know, there's like so much at stake. There are like 365 days in a year, and I don't think we place as much emphasis on any of those other days than January 1st. Aside from maybe like birthdays and maybe like your other favorite holiday, but I just feel like there is so much at stake with January 1st just because it represents like new beginnings and like goals, and it's a time where you get to reflect on what you have accomplished in the last year and what you plan on doing in the next year. And I feel like the first couple of weeks I've been just kind of reflecting on what I have been doing outside of college and just post-education in general. The funny thing is that I majored in mathematics, and well, majoring in mathematics means you can major in pure mathematics, which is what I did, or in applied mathematics. Now, whenever you major in applied mathematics, then you're probably gonna pick like a niche that's a little bit more applicable, so you're a little bit more marketable to companies for jobs and stuff. But my dumbass picked pure mathematics as my major, and although it was like great, it was really artsy fartsy and very beautiful, and like I really loved my major, I placed myself single-handedly on a trajectory towards unemployment. Like the typical path for like a pure math major is to apply to grad school and either get a master's, which is in applied science or applied mathematics, or you apply and get a PhD, in which case you just become a professor. And so I did not do either. So I graduated from college in the summer of 2021, and that seemed kind of like the last major goal that I had in my life, aside from like social goals, if that makes any sense. Graduating was like the last stop for me in terms of like my education and my career, because there was nothing after that. It's not like I had a job lined up for me, because no one's gonna hire me to do pure math for their company. Like that just doesn't. And so aside from all of like those other like societal milestones that like everyone wants, like to get married, to have a family, to buy a house, and to buy a car, and like, so aside from like those milestones, like there wasn't really anything waiting for me after college. And that was kind of hard for me to wrestle with, just because my entire life has been so defined by being good at school. I feel like being a child of immigrant parents kind of like set my life into motion in such a way where I was only like rewarded and only valuable if I was like doing well in school, and if like other people validated what I was doing. If I wasn't good at school, then my parents would have just fled communism for nothing. I understand that like talking about this seems kind of like fucking privileged, because I'm not like, you know, it's not like I have like, I don't know, polio or whatever, or it's not like I have to like fight a mountain lion on the daily or whatever. Like it's just that growing up, I had to be very good at school, which is like this systematized thing that puts you within like a box, and it doesn't really allow you to be outside of that box. Where I run into trouble is with my major. Like if I had picked to be a pure math major and had gone on to get a PhD, I wouldn't be experiencing this problem, because number one, I would already have like a set path. Number two, at this point, I would still be in school, and so I would still have like those career and educational milestones that I can try to strive for, but I didn't. So I'm kind of wrestling with either like being unemployed or I guess entrepreneurship. And so you might be like wondering what I've been doing for like the past year and a half since I've graduated. I guess you could say that I'm doing like a lot of things, but I'm also not really doing anything. One of the things that I've been doing since I graduated is tutoring, because tutoring does not require like a teaching credential. I don't need a master's. I don't need a credential. I don't need like further proof to say that yeah, you can professionally teach people math. In that sense, I am making money. Another thing that I've been doing is this kind of like trying to do this entrepreneurial, creatorpreneurial type of stuff where I'm like creating content and putting it out onto the internet. And like that's been fine and dandy and stuff, but it's not like a surefire way towards income. And like this whole creatorpreneurial thing is really dependent on whether like people like me or not. And sure, there are like skills that are involved with this, you know, with like creating videos, talking to a camera, things like that. But really, when it boils down to it, I guess the numbers and like the algorithm, it kind of just boils down to like whether or not I am likable. That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis and probably need a therapist. And so those are like the two main income-y type things that I've been working on. And so you might be wondering like, oh wow, you have income. Why are you upset? It's not that I'm necessarily upset. I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do, but the tutoring and the creatorpreneurial stuff that I'm doing has all the downsides of a job without the security of a job. Normally, whenever you graduate college and you like start, you know, your corporate life at like some office with like some big company, you have like a set path, you have a set income, so you know exactly what you're gonna get every month. You also have healthcare that comes with it, and you also have the security of a job, as in like, you know, you don't have to worry about a client bailing on you. You also have the security of knowing that you have work the next day. You don't really have to worry about clients bailing on you. You don't really have to worry about like, you know, one student not showing up to like a tutoring session and canceling, and then you just lost like 1/10 of your income for that day. I don't have the security of a job. Whenever clients cancel on me, it really severely affects me. I don't have like a healthcare plan that comes along with my work. I have to manage, and I also have to be the employee, and I also have to do all this like finance stuff, and I'm HR, and it's just like, ugh. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of like career. On a personal level, I feel like because my entire life has been so heavily focused on my performance and education, I've really kind of attached my self-worth towards like career or educational milestones. I feel like on days when I have a lot of clients, on days when I'm a high performer, on days when I'm just really productive and make more money than say other days on average, then I feel really good about myself. And I know it's not necessarily healthy to kind of attach myself to a dollar value, because number one, you can't just buy people, so then it's like weird to attach. Like, I am still like a part of this society where like money is this very important social construct that kind of like defines who you are, and we're all just hustling and working towards like buying shit that we don't even like to impress people that we don't know. And currently I'm kind of just in the mindset where like Fridays are like my favorite days. Every week whenever Friday rolls around, I have this like itch to go out and drink. I kind of sound like an alcoholic, but that's really not the case. It's just that every Friday night, I feel like this is my night to treat myself, you know, for working throughout the entire week. But anytime that I'm out, I feel like tremendous guilt for like not working. And whenever I'm working, I'm like, why am I doing all this? Like, who am I trying to impress? And I'm like, what does this even mean? And does my work even like provide value for people? And life after college is fucking weird. You know how like in school you were berated and yelled at and punished for being disruptive in class, but the outside world praises you for being disruptive if you're disruptive in the world of business, if you're disruptive in the world of media. Just being disruptive generates money and notoriety and success and things that all of us strive towards. But our entire lives, I just feel like the entire time we're just locked inside this box. Or maybe I just need a therapist. Sometimes I wish that I could just be like a stay-at-home mom, but I don't want kids. But I think the reason why I romanticize the role of being a stay-at-home mom so much is that it has a set path and it has like set daily tasks that is already predetermined. I don't really necessarily have to think about. There's like a certainty in that role that I kind of crave and miss. On the flip side, there are things that I like desire, such as like independence and like the ability to be able to do whatever the fuck I want to, whenever the fuck I want to. And I guess there are like scary things that are attached with the ability to do whatever you want, which is why like being a freelancer and being self-employed is kind of like scary. And if I really wanted someone to tell me what to do, then I mean, there's like a regular old 9-to-5 job that I could just get. And so I am grateful, but I do have thoughts that kind of bounce around every now and then. So what was the whole point of this rant? These might just be thoughts that I have at the beginning of the new year, just because, you know, the new year is like kind of a stressful time where everyone is like setting new goals and everyone is like really giving their all. And I feel like I should be giving my all, but I haven't been. So maybe these are just feelings that are gonna pass, or maybe not. And I end up getting a therapist, and you never know. Something else that also worries me, you know, as I dig myself deeper into this like creatorpreneurial type of hole where I'm like like creating content for the internet, I guess people are becoming more and more hostile, and like different ends of social media and the internet are becoming so polarized that it's very hard for people to talk about any nuanced experience. It's kind of sad because the whole point of like, you know, making social media accessible for everyone is so that they can have those nuanced experiences and to be able to share them in a way where, you know, it might just be naive joy. That is something that genuinely worries me. I don't know. There's something about that that just seems like a little bit like restrictive, which is like oppressive and not what we're trying to strive for. And I guess that's it. I guess the takeaway that I want people to have from this video is that, I don't know, maybe you relate, maybe you don't relate, but be kind to yourselves. And when you're kind to yourself, you're kinder to others. And we only have one planet, and people are, you know, worth it. And yeah. Speaking of people, there's probably like crime being committed right now. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful new year. I know that the new year can be stressful for some of us, and by some of us I mean me. And if you are stressed by it, then, you know, you could take it one step at a time. Everything is figure outable. All right, I'll see you next time with something a little less depressing.